Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So as you can see from the title below, I'm going to be doing the Disney book tag. This video was super popular about 4 or 5 years ago, but I love Disney so much, as you can see from my Hercules shirt, so I wanted to do it. And today I'm going to be talking about 10 different books that correspond with 10 different Disney movies like Cinderella, Aladdin, Mulan. Yes, I'm really excited, so let's jump right in. So I'm not going to go too far into any of the books I mentioned today because I don't want this video to be super long, but I will link to each book's Goodreads description down below if you want to learn more about the book. So the first prompt is The Little Mermaid, and this is about a character who's out of their element, a fish out of water, if you will. And obviously the first book that pops to mind here is Outlander by Diana Gabaldon. I just talked about it in my last video, so go check that out. But essentially Claire, one of our main characters, is from the 1900s, and she travels back in time to the 1700s, and she is completely out of her element. She's an outlander, and she has really only a little idea what's going on, and so I think Outlander is perfect for this category. Our second prompt is Cinderella, and this is about a character who goes through a major transformation. So I chose Mare from The Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard. Mare, right off the bat, goes through a major transformation, and she learns that she actually has magical abilities. She's able to control lightning. And in this world, we have two different types of people, silver-blooded people and red-blooded people, and red-blooded people aren't supposed to have magical abilities, but Mare, as a red-blooded person, does. And so right off the bat, she kind of goes through this major transformation of being kind of like this poor red-blooded person with no abilities whatsoever to kind of being thrusted into this silver-blooded world with these magical abilities that she discovers. Our third prompt is Snow White, and here we're supposed to pick a book with an eclectic group of characters. So I picked The Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. This book was the first that popped to mind when I read this prompt. It's an obvious winner for me. In this book, we follow a group of 6 basically kids, and they have to kind of come together, and they form this kind of like ragtag team of kids to accomplish their goal. And each of the kids in this group are completely different. They come from different backgrounds, they come from different countries. These kids would have never come together on their own if it hadn't been for these kind of weird circumstances all causing them to be in this one city and coming together to accomplish their mission. So Snow White, Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. So the next prompt is Sleeping Beauty, and as you can guess, a book that put you to sleep. I might get some hate for this one, but I chose Ninth House, also by Leigh Bardugo. And before you come for me, I just chose it because I felt that it was a little bit of a slow start. It had kind of a lot of information overload, and it was kind of really set up the story, which by the end I appreciated, but at the beginning it was a little bit hard for me to get into. But the book does really pick up at the end, and even though I picked it for my Sleeping Beauty category, it is a really good book and I do recommend it. So the next category is The Lion King, and this is about a character who has something traumatic happen to them in childhood. And for this I chose The Cruel Prince by Holly Black, specifically our main character Jude. When Jude is a little girl, she's actually kidnapped by her older half-sister's biological father, who is a fae, and he's from the fairylands, and he claims he has basically possession over Jude's older sister. He comes into her house, kills her mother and father, and basically kidnaps all the kids. So I would definitely say that Jude has a traumatic experience when she's a child, and this book definitely works for our Lion King category. So our next prompt is Beauty and the Beast, and this is about a beast of a book that you actually really enjoyed. And for this category, I chose House of Blood and Earth by Sarah J. Maas, the first book in her new Crescent City series. This book is a beast. It's 800 pages, but it's a really good book. It does have a pretty slow start and is kind of information overload at the beginning, because she has to build this like huge fantasy world with fae, with werewolves, with angels, with vampires, and she kind of goes for it and includes a handful of different mythical creatures. So at the beginning it is kind of a lot of setting up the book, introducing a lot of characters. I really like Sarah J. Maas's writing. I like her character development. I love her romance. So I actually really did like this book, and I think I want to reread it soon because I read it when it first came out and I was so excited about it that I kind of just like read it as fast as I could. But I definitely want to reread it and really like take my time and enjoy it this time. So our next prompt is Aladdin, and this is about a character who gets their wish granted. And for this category, I chose Twilight by Stephanie Meyer, specifically Bella. From the beginning, as soon as she falls in love with Edward, she basically wants to be a vampire, and this is her wish. And even though he's kind of like, no, you don't really know what you're asking for, eventually she does get turned, and she is extremely happy about it, and she feels like she was kind of always supposed to be a vampire. So I think that Twilight definitely works perfect for this category. So our next prompt is Mulan, and this is about a character who pretends to be someone or something that they aren't, and I couldn't think of a better book than Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. Without giving anything away, we have a character in the series who is pretending to be someone that they aren't, and when you learn who that character truly is, it's a very satisfying moment in the series, and it definitely makes you excited to see kind of how the series is gonna end and kind of will everything work out for that character. The next category is Toy Story, and this is a book where you wish the characters would come to life, and I had to pick A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas. Can you tell I like her books? But I love this book. It's my favorite book of the Court of Thorns and Roses series, and the characters I wish would come to life, well, all of them, but specifically Reese, Cassian, and Israel. They're just this trio of deliciousness, and I need them to come to life for many reasons. But yeah, A Court of Mist and Fury, as I said, is the second book in A Court of Thorns and Roses series, which is one of my all-time favorite series, and I highly recommend it. Okay, and our last category is Disney Descendants, and this is your favorite villain or morally ambiguous character, and for this I had to choose Warner in the Shatter Me series by Tahereh Mafi. He's probably one of my favorite villains of all time because I just love his character arc and kind of his whole story from when he was a child to kind of our last book in the series. So Warner, he had a really hard childhood. His father is a super bad person, and he raised Warner to follow in his footsteps. And when we're introduced to Warner, he's, you know, this horrible guy, and you know, you hate him, but then through the series you kind of learn why he's so evil, and you kind of see him really struggle with it. He's not our villain because he wants to be, he's not inherently evil, but because that was what he was taught growing up, and you see him really struggle with kind of what he was taught and right and wrong. But I don't want to give anything away, so I'm going to stop it at that. But the Shatter Me series, I have mixed feelings about in general. I think it starts off really strong, and I love the first few books, but then I felt like it kind of goes downhill towards the end, where I feel like it was just kind of stretched out towards the end, and it was kind of unnecessary. However, it is a good fantasy series, and if you're looking for apocalyptic fantasy type book, then you might enjoy the Shatter Me series. But yeah, that is my Disney book tag. I hope you guys liked it. Let me know in the comments below if you have any books that you think fit into these categories. I'd love to hear from you guys. But yeah, please like this video. Please subscribe if you aren't already, and I'll catch you in my next video. Bye!